Eliandra Light, the Technomancer, where magic meets steel. Who is Eli? She's the elf in the workshop who makes impossible things work. Violet eyes that glow with diagnostic magic. Bracer gloves flickering with rune calculations. Hands that move with equal precision whether she's inscribing an ancient incantation or rewiring a circuit board. She's got the no-nonsense attitude of someone who's spent too many hours debugging weapons systems while literally keeping people alive. She'll threaten to remove your limbs at the shoulder if you touch her inventory. She'll also spend weeks designing a prosthetic that turns loss into power. That's Eli. She's a technomancer, a rare blend of ancient magic and modern technology. In a world where supernatural and mundane collide, Eli is the collision point. She's the one who looks at a standard rifle and sees it as a canvas for magical inscription. She looks at a severed arm and sees an engineering problem with a magical solution. She looks at broken people and rebuilds them stronger than before. She's not flashy about it. She doesn't cast spells with dramatic flourishes or make weapons glow with theatrical power. She works quietly, methodically, with the precision of someone for whom failure means people die. She grumbles about it, she complains about the work, but she does it anyway because that's who she is. The pack doesn't just function because of Gunner's leadership or the wolves' ferocity. The pack functions because Eli designed every weapon they carry, every piece of armor they wear, every piece of their enhanced bodies. She's the reason Gunner can still fight after losing an arm. She's the reason Sarah can move through terrain like her leg was never lost. She's the reason the pack's silver daggers can pierce demon hide. Eli is the maker, the technomancer, the one who built the tools that save lives. Her origin, from guardian to builder. Eli's story begins in the Starlight Gem Cavern, where she serves as the gem's guardian and keeper. When Gunner arrives seeking the Starlight Gem, Eli tests him, not through combat, but through trials. Tests of spirit, courage, faith. She's not cruel about it. She's preparing him for the responsibility of wielding power that corrupts if wielded for the wrong reasons. She's ensuring he's worthy before she lets him touch what she's been guarding. When he passes, she doesn't just hand him the gem, she joins him. They emerge together to a stone circle overlooking Lake Michigan, a place of power, a nexus of energy. And Eli doesn't hesitate. She sees the potential. This place is perfect for a workshop, she says immediately. Her mind is already spinning with possibilities. With the Starlight Gem and this powerful location, we could create something truly extraordinary. That moment defines everything. Eli doesn't just use power. She builds with it. Over the next weeks and months, she transforms that stone circle into the first workshop. She uses her alchemical knowledge to reinforce stone pillars with enchanted minerals. She inscribes runes with the precision of an artist and the methodology of an engineer. She creates a forge that channels Starlight Gem energy into weapons of extraordinary power. And that's when Gunner and Eli forge their first weapon together, the silver dagger. It's not just enchanted, it's a fusion. Ancient runes meet modern metallurgy. Magical incantation meets precise engineering. The blade carries the essence of the Starlight Gem, but it's shaped by Eli's understanding of how magic and metal interact, how power can be channeled and contained. This is the birth of what Eli becomes, the Technomancer. Not a sorceress playing with magic, not an engineer building without magical understanding, someone who sees technology and magic as two languages describing the same thing, and she's fluent in both. The weapons, architecture of power. Eli designs every weapon the pack carries, every single one. The Starbreaker, Gunner's rifle. It's not a gun that happens to have magic, it's a technomantic weapon, a fusion so complete that you can't separate the technology from the magic without destroying both. The barrel is wrought from lightweight alloys, but those alloys are inscribed with runes that channel Starlight Gem energy. The chamber doesn't just fire bullets, it amplifies their magical payload. The launcher fires explosive orbs, alchemical mixtures reacting to magical triggers designed to deliver both destructive force and radiant light that burns away darkness. Eli engineered every component. She calculated chamber pressure against magical feedback. She designed the energy stabilization system so the rifle doesn't overheat during extended use. She created specialized ammunition. Light rounds for disorientation, shatter rounds for breaking through magical shields, standard rounds for precision kills. Each one individually inscribed with runes that pierce through any defense. The Starbreaker is art and weapon and engineering marvel all at once. It's Eli's masterpiece. The pack daggers, silver and soul. Each member of the pack carries a silver dagger imbued with starlight gem power. To most people, they're just knives. But Eli's work on them is invisible until you see them used. Then you understand that she's done something most smiths couldn't dream of. The runes are so finely inscribed that they're nearly imperceptible. The enchantment is so seamlessly integrated into the metal that you can't tell where the magic ends and the steel begins. They trap demon essence. They pierce supernatural defenses. They're weapons designed by someone who understands that the best design is the one that disappears in use. Darren's Thunderstrike. A shotgun that doesn't just fire buckshot. Every round Eli designed for it crackles with energy that matches Darren's personality. Violent, unpredictable, devastating. The weapon hums with power. In Darren's hands, it becomes a force of nature. Desra's sniper systems, her rifle is precision personified. Eli designed ammunition that travels true at distances that should be impossible. She designed scopes that blend magical sight enhancement with technical optics. She designed everything around Desera's new role, a sniper with a prosthetic leg that somehow moves more smoothly than legs of flesh ever could. The technical magic systems. Beyond weapons, Eli designs defensive grids, alarm systems, trap networks. She creates devices that blend runes and circuitry. She builds magical sensors using technology as the medium. In Season 21, she sets magical traps in a ravine using a small device in her hand that activates her entire network of spells. That's technomancy, magic deployed through technological systems. The rebuilding, making broken into unbreakable. This is where Eli becomes something more than a weapons designer. This is where she becomes essential. Gunner's prosthetic arm. Gunner loses his arm to Ultranacious Eternus. It's not a clean cut. The demon's claws sever it with brutal force, leaving him at a fundamental disadvantage. He's lost not just strength but identity. The Alpha losing his arm feels like cosmic betrayal. Eli spends weeks, possibly months, designing his replacement. Not just a prosthetic, an upgrade. The arm is crafted from the same materials as the Starbreaker. It's stronger than steel, enchanted to be fully integrated with his nervous system. But the genius is in the hidden feature, a retractable blade built into the forearm. When he flexes his wrist backward, a dagger extends, the same silver and starlight construction as the pack daggers. Flex forward and it retracts. Eli doesn't just restore what Gunner lost. She gives him back better. The procedure to attach it takes hours. Eli and Jewel work with surgical precision while Eliandra guides the magical fusion. They're blending technology, magic, and medical science into one perfect moment. The arm fuses to Gunner's bone and integrates into his nervous system so completely that he can manipulate the hidden blade by thought. When Gunner flexes that prosthetic in later battles, when he deploys the hidden dagger in combat, he's using a weapon only Eli could have designed, an extension of himself that's literally part of the Starlight Gem's power. Desera's prosthetic leg. Desera loses her leg to a demon's claws during a rescue mission. She loses it below the knee, and the stump is infected with demonic corruption. In another world, that's the end of her career. But Eli designs her a prosthetic leg that lets her move effortlessly through terrain. That's not hyperbole. That's Eli saying, I'm not just giving you back mobility. I'm giving you enhancement. Desera becomes a sniper who can move through any terrain because Eli understood that a prosthetic isn't about replacement, it's about evolution. The leg is stronger than flesh ever was. It's faster. It's tireless. Desera becomes more capable after losing her leg than she was before because of Eli's design. What Eli actually is. A technomancer. Someone who doesn't see magic and technology as separate. They're expressions of the same fundamental truth. Power can be shaped, directed, controlled. Magic uses runes and intention. Technology uses circuits and precision. Eli uses both simultaneously, creating weapons that would seem impossible if you didn't understand that magic and tech were always meant to work together. An artificer. She doesn't just make weapons. She crafts, she designs, she engineers. Every tool, every weapon, every prosthetic is built with intention and precision. There's no waste in her work. Every component serves a purpose. A rebuilder. When people break, Eli makes them whole, and usually better than before. Gunner without an arm becomes gunner with a weapon arm. Desera without a leg becomes Desera with an enhanced leg. She takes loss and transmutes it into power. The technical specialist. She's the one who understands how the Starbreaker works, how to maintain it, how to upgrade it. She's the one setting magical traps using technological activation systems. She's the one designing defensive grids that blend ancient runes with modern circuit logic. The quiet backbone. She doesn't seek attention. She doesn't demand recognition. She works in the workshop, in the shadows, creating the tools that let the pack fight and survive. When something breaks, she fixes it. When someone is wounded, she designs the healing. When Gunner needs help standing, she's there with equipment she spent weeks building. Her personality, competent and unimpressed. Eli is sharp. Technically brilliant but socially unfiltered. She'll threaten Lyra with amputation for touching her inventory without asking. She'll call Darren Keebler relentlessly, finding it endlessly entertaining when he hates it. She'll shoot down bad ideas with the precision of someone used to having her technical assessments determine whether people live or die. But underneath the sharpness is someone who cares deeply. She spends weeks building Gunner's arm not because he orders her to, but because she can't accept that he's broken. She designs Desera's prosthetic with features she didn't have to include, enhancement layers, reinforcement systems, because she refuses to let loss define any of her people. She has a sense of humour, but it's a technician's humour, dry, precise, cutting. She grumbles about work while doing it anyway. She complains about the complexity of magical systems while perfecting them. She's confident in her expertise but not arrogant. She knows what she's capable of and what she's not. She'll tell you directly if something is impossible. But she'll also stay up for however many hours it takes to make the impossible work. Her role in the pack, the foundation. Eli isn't the leader. That's Gunner. She's not the warrior. That's what the combat members do. Eli is the foundation. Everything the pack does, they do with tools Eli made. Every weapon they carry is inscribed with her precision. Every piece of armor has her protective runes. Every prosthetic limb functions because of her design. She's also the bridge between worlds. In a supernatural team, Eli brings the technical knowledge that anchors them to human civilization. In a human government context, she brings the magical understanding that explains why some problems can't be solved with conventional methods. She's the emotional anchor in a different way than some might think. She's not the one who talks about feelings. She's the one who proves through action that people matter, that Gunner's arm is worth weeks of work, that Desera's leg deserves enhancement, that every pack member deserves the best equipment she can create. When things get dark, when the pack feels like they're breaking, Eli doesn't give speeches. She works, she builds, she creates. And that act of creation, that refusal to accept loss as final, is how she holds the pack together. Key moments that define her. Guardian of the Starlight Gem. Testing Gunner to ensure he's worthy. This establishes her role as judge of character and keeper of power. creating the workshop, seeing a stone circle and immediately envisioning what it could become. This shows her vision. She doesn't just see what is, she sees what could be. Forging the silver dagger, her first collaboration with Gunnar, establishing the template for all future weapons. Magic and metal, ancient and modern blended seamlessly. Designing the Starbreaker, the masterwork that defines her as a Technomancer. A rifle that shouldn't exist but does because Eli understood how to make it. Building Gunnar's prosthetic arm. Weeks of work to create not just a replacement, but an upgrade. An expression of love through engineering. Designing Dezera's prosthetic leg. Taking loss and transmuting it into enhancement. Proving that Eli doesn't just rebuild, she improves. Season 20, Aftermath. Her role in stabilizing the pack, creating systems that let them function even when the pieces are broken. Setting magical traps in battle, using a small device to activate her entire network of spells. Technomancy in action, magic deployed through technology. What makes Eli irreplaceable? You could replace Gunnar as leader. You could find another warrior to replace most combat members. But you can't replace Eli. She's the only one who knows how the Starbreaker works at the fundamental level. She's the only one who can maintain and upgrade all the magical equipment. She's the only one who could design Gunnar's arm or Dezera's leg. She's the only Technomancer in the pack. But more than that, she's the one who refuses to accept loss as final. In a world where demons take limbs and darkness threatens everything, Eli is the answer to despair. She takes brokenness and builds it into strength. She doesn't heal wounds with magic. She engineers better replacements. She doesn't just create weapons. She creates tools that let broken people become unstoppable. That's what a Technomancer does. That's who Eli is. The real identity. Eli Eliandra Light is a Technomancer. She blends ancient magic with modern innovation. She's an artificer who refuses to accept the word impossible as anything other than a personal challenge. She's the woman who spends weeks building prosthetic limbs that are better than the original equipment. She's the one who designs weapons so perfect that they seem to disappear in use. She's quiet about it. She complains while doing it. She threatens people who get in her way. And she's absolutely essential. The pack doesn't survive without Gunnar's leadership, or the wolves' ferocity, or the team's loyalty. But the pack doesn't function at all without Eli. Because in a war between light and darkness, where supernatural battles with the mundane, someone has to know how to build the tools that let fragile humans stand against immortal evil. That someone is Eli.